In poker, like you really can, if you like dedicate, I don't know, 3 to 6 years of your life, like if you just like really, really go after it, you can kind of you can kind of like make headway in the industry much quicker than other industries, I think. By all statistics that I can see, poker's just going to be continue to boom in the near future. So yeah, I'm super excited.
What makes you say that?
I mean, just like tournament fields are huge. Action just getting more accessible and bigger. Different venues are running higher stake tournaments, and you see things like whatever the Triton 100K and stuff just get record numbers and all over the world. So it doesn't seem to be slowing down anytime soon.
Oh, that's quite promising. But what other avenues are open up? Or are you talking about?
More so just like venues. You get 25Ks in Southern Florida. All the EPT 25Ks are huge. Aria
Hmm.
PokerGo is running amazing tournaments. The series has great tournaments. So I just think like if you're a live tournament player right now, it's not difficult to get buy-ins in. It's much more difficult to try to manage your time and like take time off or skip events or things like that because there's just something going on constantly. It feels like.
Oh, okay. Um, and would you say that people are playing? Would you say there's lots of value?
I can't really speak to that. I've only been playing live tournaments since really 2021. Um, I've never been a guy to like focus too much on the value of things and try to figure out if I'm winning the 6% or the 8% or 9% or whatever it might be. So
You
that's
didn't
for other
know the
people to
six
try to
point five.
dissect and figure out. Yeah,
Super pro.
exactly.
Super pro numbers. Well, these are a bit important questions. I do want to get into what made you decide to shift from being a goalie. I understand, and you also had a bit of a career in golf. Is that right?
No, no, I wish.
Oh,
I just
I
picked up
misunderstood
golf
then.
recently. More of a
Oh,
more of
okay,
a
okay.
hobby.
My bad.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, the quality of the games is something really that I think is an underrated aspect of how to actually make money in poker that people don't really talk so much about in comparison to the overwhelming amount of information directed towards actual strategy, which I think is funny and requires like a bigger discussion in general. But it's like, if there's many spots opening up on the whole, certainly if things can't be gloom and doom, but you have to find really where the best spots are at. But it sounds like you're playing mostly American ones, right?
I play a lot of the EPTs too. I try to get at least a couple EPTs in a year, and then is at least two or
Okay.
three Tritons a year, hopefully.
Okay. Well, I can say before we move on to more about you and your life, I can say there's lots of stuff opening up in Asia. As someone who's been like hopping around through Asian countries, there's the tournament series in Cambodia opening up. That sounds like a high roller and probably quite promising. Jeju's getting record numbers and Triton, and there's some stuff going on in Australia too, so that's cool. It looks like,
Yeah, for
yeah, like you
sure.
said, things are booming in some
Right,
kind
right
of
before
way. We'll see.
Jeju, right before Jeju, they just had the APT in Taiwan. So I went to
Uh,
Paris and played the EPT, and then hopped over to Taiwan, and they ran like a 25K, a couple 10Ks, and some 3, 4, 5K type stuff. And I mean, it's like everything over there seems to just be kind of booming, and they love
oh
poker
yeah.
over there, and people are starting to travel. So I wish I would have stayed after. Honestly, I have a lot of guys that are in Vietnam now after the Jeju Triton series, and then back in Jeju for APT. It's like nonstop action over there, which is pretty cool to see.
What's in Vietnam? Another APT or what?
I think it's like a USOP. I'm not quite sure the brand
I don't know what that
that's
is.
running them, but yeah, just some like 10Ks in Da Nang, I think, and some
Oh,
obviously
okay.
smaller stuff too. But
Yeah, Da Nang is where there's some stuff going on. I knew that there's some stuff going on in Da Nang. I know a little bit about that. I would think it'd be maybe worth checking out these other countries too, but I will be reporting on that myself. I
okay,
want
nice.
to ask why you decided to switch between your career as a goalie. Is that your main passion that you switched from to poker?
Yeah, so I mean, I would say it wasn't so much of a choice, honestly. Like after I finished my college career, I didn't get drafted into the MLS, and and it was kind of like the breaking point for me. It was like I could have gone and played like minor league and tried to grind my way up, um, but it definitely wasn't as minor league soccer is not like the biggest thing in America, right? So I think at that point I definitely had like some sort of identity crisis where I'd just been a soccer player or a student athlete for my entire life, or at least my entire like adult life. And I really didn't know what I wanted to do. And I was playing a lot of poker. I'd graduated college in engineering, and I honestly I was just like super lost on what I wanted to do, and I ended up just getting super lucky that I met some really good people, and just kind of like funneled that kind of emptiness almost, or like identity crisis, into just like into poker and into learning the game and playing as much as I could. And I think that like in that time that was like huge for me to really kind of start making my way in poker. And then once I saw that it could work out as a profession, I think I just dove in kind of head first.
Yeah, I mean that's one thing I constantly advocate is that poker has a much more the pathway to success is much more accessible in comparison to pro sports and other things where it's like very tough unless you're very very good
For
uh,
sure. For
to
sure.
make like
Even
a
other
living.
professions, right? Like my older brother is a doctor in Ohio. And I watched him like go to
Doctor.
4 years of undergrad, 4 years of medical school, a bunch of years of residency, maybe a little bit of a fellowship, and it's like he doesn't become a doctor until he's like in his 30s. You know, in poker, like you really can, if you like dedicate, I don't know, 3 to 6 years of your life, like if you just like really, really go after it, you can kind of you can kind of like make headway in the industry much quicker than other industries, I think.
Well, that's quite promising. I would hope that. I mean, in other cases, they were saying that shouldn't take 3 years. I would think, but I mean, like maybe that's the par. I don't know, or maybe that's good run or bad run, or I don't know. Maybe other people were lucky. Excuse me, or
Sure.
I don't know what really is realistic, but it's something worth investigating without dedicating all my time to figuring out experientially. And but yeah, it's promising for poker that it's working out so well.